My name is Devashish Chakraborty. Today we will talk about stories and more. So there is two interesting news in my hand. One is, what do you think? What is better for treatment, mouthwash or injection? Yes, I'm coming to the point. The point is very simple. The scientist of England, are saying that some scientists of England are saying that a mouthwash can treat coronavirus. That is a beautiful news for us because I fear injection a lot. Honestly saying that I fear injection a lot. So that is a beautiful news for us if a mouthwash can treat that evil virus corona. And second is the important news for you. That is the news regarding India. That is very interesting news. Once upon a time, an astrologer said to the famous scientist Satyendranath Bose. When Satyendranath Bose in his childhood, an astrologer said him that you didn't able to learn anything. Your education, you will not succeed in your education career. That is a very interesting point. As because Satyendranath Bose is one of the greatest scientists of the world. Today we are talking about Higgs and boson particle. Today we are talking about God's own particle. That the another name of Higgs and Bose particle is God's own particle. This Higgs and Bose means Bose means Satyendranath Bose, who is associated to Higgs. And he is very muchly associated with Einstein. Einstein loved Satyendranath Bose a lot because Einstein treated him as a student, as a junior partner. So that is the irony of India. Once upon a time, an astrologer said to Satyendranath Bose that he will not be able to learn anything. So in India, you will find two ways. One way is creating evil consciousness. One way is spreading evil consciousness, and one way is spreading religion and politics, the mixture of religion and politics. One way is spreading lot of unscientific things, and in another way you will find beautiful memories and beautiful love and the real words of science. As because we know the Aryabhatta. Yes, Aryabhatta is the man who first discovered a zero. He is from India. So India doesn't represent only one thing, that negation of world and negation of life. India represents a lot of other things. Let's come to Shyama Sangit. Ramprasad is writing about Shyama Sangit. He is a famous writer of Bengal. What he is writing about Ma Kali. He is writing that thing that I didn't want to be king. I just want a little food, little rice. China mago raja hote. That I didn't want to be king. I want food. So the main emphasis of our religion is also the question of food, question of crisis. We want to break the crisis, we want to create a beautiful thing. And second thing, not only that, Ramprasad in his another song, what he is saying? He is saying about that to his mother Kali, that how you get these beautiful ornaments? Are you cheating the people? That is the language of Ramprasad. So that is a very, in my opinion, I'm not a religious person, I'm not spreading the religion, I'm saying in my opinion that the class conflict, that the class consciousness of Ramprasad is very much prominent in his writings. So these writings are not, in my opinion, truly religious writing. This writing manifests the beautiful, beautiful journey of class struggle in India. So in this sphere, when we are talking about the Indian class struggle and Indian art, let's come to two different films. Yes, it is very unfortunate for us. The famous actor Soumitra Chattopadhyay passed away a few days ago. That is a very painful thing for us. I love Soumitra, but I mostly love Uttam Kumar. I love Soumitra, but I have a very keen interest about Uttam Kumar. So what we find in Soumitra's film, especially the films of Soumitra, we find a beautiful relation of class, a beautiful relation of Indianness and Indian culture, like that Shyama Sangit of Ramprasad. Let's come to two film. I'm not elaborating the career of Soumitra Chattopadhyay. I'm not elaborating his all the successes and his all the failures. So I'm just today elaborating the beautiful path of India that is created by Ramprasad. In that path, Soumitra walked a few miles. So I'm coming to that. In the film, like yes, you are very correct. In that film, like Opur Sangsar, what do you say? What do we get? We get a young Soumitra Chattopadhyay who is Opu. Opu is a boy who struggled a lot. In his boyhood, he suffered a lot. He lost his beautiful elder sister Durga. And throughout his life, Opu lost everything. So that young Opu has a beautiful dream when young Opu talking with his friends. That the beautiful that the beautiful moment of Opur Sangsar, when Opu talking with the friends in a railway yard. He is telling that, like Maxim Gorky, like Rabindranath, like Dostoevsky, they didn't work for a job. They didn't get a job. They didn't work for any person. They are truly independent people. So I will not work in office. They didn't work in office, so I will not work in office. That is the courage of Opu. That courage has been manifested Soumitra Chattopadhyay. That courage manifested by Soumitra Chattopadhyay beautifully. And this is the courage. Opu wants to be a writer. He didn't want much more gold. He didn't want a beautiful bank balance. He only wants to be a writer and some food. So let's come to that Shyama Sangit. Je China mago raja hota. I didn't want to be a king. I want food. I want creativity. That is the demand of Opu and Ramprasad, and that is the beautiful tuning of India. And if you come to that film also, the film of Feluda, in my opinion, Soumitra is the greatest Feluda ever, in my opinion. And Sonnar Kella is one of the beautiful picture of Feluda. In Sonnar Kella, what we are getting? You just remember that scenario. A local singer is singing in the rail station. Here also come importantly rail. In Soumitra, every film, most films, we get the newer applications of railways. So in Opur Sangsar, what we are saying, in a railway yard, three friends are talking. In Sonnar Kella, what we are saying, that in a station, a local singer is singing. A local singer of Rajasthan is singing a song, Man Mera Ram Ram Rache. That Ram is different from the political Ram. That Ram is very close to any hurt. That Ram is not a warrior. That Ram is our boy. That Ram is our dream. That Ram is our emancipation. But the political Ram is another thing. Political Ram wants another thing. Not political, that is not the political Ram. Political Ram is a creation of a particular political party, but that Ram is creation of Indian culture. So we have to understand that. In that cinema also Soumitra did a brilliant job. In my opinion, every cinema, in English it is difficult for me to describe how the cinema of Feluda goes on, but I'm trying. That in that film, Sonnar Kella, we find another sort of story, the story of Lal Mohan Babu. In my opinion, every Feluda story is a story of Lal Mohan Babu. Who is Lal Mohan Babu? A writer. He is not so smart like Feluda, he is not so smart like Topshe, a writer with his numerous habitual faults. But he is very close to Feluda and Topshe, and they make a three teams and they spread the knowledge. That is the beautifulness of Indian detectives also. So from Shama Sangit to Indian detectives like Feluda, like Bonkesh, we are finding a beautiful journey of being and believing. That is very important for today's life, as because we didn't believe anyone. If we didn't believe anyone, so how can we expect that anybody will believe me? This is the main problem of today's scenario. And second thing, we are preaching always the unscientific things. We are always preaching unscientific things. We are go ahead with unscientific things. So these two things are very what I say, very greatest problem of India. And from Feluda to Shama Sangit, we always find a beautiful tune of India that say, we shall overcome, we will never bow down, and we will understand the every agony of the world. So let's come to world now. Yes, in India we are facing numerous crises about caste problem, about other problems. But in world we are also facing this type of problems. Let's see the biggest spectrum. One of my favorite author is Doris Lessing. The Doris Lessing written a beautiful book. That name is Grass is Singing. In that book, he is describing the Africa. In that book, she is describing the Africa. What she is describing how the young British people who came to Africa, what they see in the narratives. And then she is finding that the imperial legacy of Britain creating a havoc for African people, not only economically but also culturally. If a woman of white race, white color, is killed by some white people, then no African will be able to see her face. Doris Lessing giving us the grievous crisis of Africa. She is enlarging the grievous crisis of Africa, that how a white color people, when he or she died, or when he or she murdered by anyone, no black color people will be able to see her face, see her or his face. So this is the beautiful, this is a beautiful case study of so-called aggressions, the aggressions of Britain, the aggression of imperial power. Imperial power always distanced people from the powerful people, so he always created a space that powerful people never die. You cannot see the face of powerful people who is dying like you. That is the cultural politics. So every African folk song, we will find a tune of melancholy. That melancholy is very much like our Ramprasad songs. This melancholy is very much like our literature. So in African literature we can find India, in African song we can find India. So that is the another globalization of thoughts and minds. And here comes the question of Soumitra Chattopadhyay. Soumitra Chattopadhyay in all his films, which is directed by famous director Satyajit Ray, he was the poster boy of this globalization. Oppu wants to be a global person. Feluda, he is a global person, but he is very local. This is a balance of global and local, which is created in Ramprasad songs, that is also created in Feluda's film, that is also created in Soumitra Chattopadhyay's acting. So here today I am now stopping. I hope you are enjoying this program, and I have an earnest request to you. Please subscribe this channel. If you subscribe this channel, we will get energy to produce more beautiful things. And remember, every new voice of YouTube must get your recognition, because they are telling new things. They are facing the new crisis. So, good night and have a nice journey.